Folks, this is my second take on taking this video. Had some interruptions on the first one. And John Sexton is number one divorce lawyer in America, New York. He does with celebrities, wealthy businessmen, and whatever. I've been watching probably like total of 3 hours. I never skip a beat. I never fast forward. And it's very interesting because we get to hear this type of topic from a man's point of view, a woman's point of view, from a psychologist's point of view, whatever. But this is coming from a divorce lawyer who has been working in the field for more than 20 plus years. Yep, that's one of the videos here. And the other one is for the Daily of CEO. Please do pause if you wanted to, if you're thinking of getting married or before married or in a marriage, you must watch this. It's a must. You can stop this video, you can go in and go watch it. And this is like an eye-opener of my one, and it's adding more information on mine as well. Now, before I begin with this topic, this Thursday, today's Sunday, I've discussed with one of my mates. I went over to my mate's house and I brought my daughter along and played with their kids as well, where my mate's sister is single and who recently divorced. We recently divorced, and first time I met the brother-in-law, all right? And we had a long discussion, me and his brother-in-law, just a little bit background about themselves. Wife is a financial planner, husband is a lawyer. They both family came from intact family, never divorced, all right? Now, obviously it's a mixed relationship. One is coming from Vietnamese, and another one is but they're born in Australia. Other one is like half Danish and half Aussie, if you guys want to know a little bit background. But yeah, it's very interesting to know of the whole thing, where I discussed with the brother-in-law, and he was just disbelieved that he's in this position, even though he's a lawyer, and he's being shocked to tell me that he's part of this statistics where I believe it's 42% divorce rate in Australia. Like, he avoided this whole thing, but somehow it's gone to this position, and he's just very disbelief with the whole outcome. And obviously, when I have a glimpse of them two relationship, I could tell the wife is the dominant one. I could look at it. That's by the glimpse, all right? You guys don't question too much. I'm just saying from a glimpse, right? And I had a long discussion with him, and he's discussing about how they met for 20 plus years, got married, they have 2 kids, and they both work together, thick and thin of problem solving of their life. They both help each other with the career to where they are today. And I believe the wife earns more money than the husband. But that's not the whole goal about making more money, whatever. You think, it's a power couple earning good money together combined. They have lavish cars, and I don't know what type of house they're living, but just say he's pretty more than the middle class. It's like, high class or upper class, that type of bracket. And it's funny where I look at the whole thing where, I discussed with the brother-in-law, he's just disbelief. He's just knocked out of it and just couldn't believe that he's in this position. And I told him, it can be multiple reasons why the wife wanted to divorce. It can be different time and experience, maybe aged. It can be, what's surrounding from her workplace and your workplace, the stress as well. And, disinterest, or, it can be, feminist. It can be, the loosely laws of, no fault divorce. It can be social media. It can be everything. We just live in a time that everything is freedom. And I guess the freedom, when you give it to people, whether they take advantage or take upon, and get a big punch out of it. And he just disbelief. He honestly thought that he was doing the right thing, bringing money, running the family or X, Y, and Z. And I get what he's saying. And I was like, I not told him the same thing. I honestly thought I was doing the right thing, making good money, providing for the family, but it's not enough. But the woman in that scenario having that sort of say, and it really hurts me to even discuss this because I could feel his tears. I could see it. And it's not great. All right, and I discussed with him. I'm like, it is what it is. You can't say anything. I can't say anything because it's just going to be a domestic violence. The more we have to do, just stay on the sideline. You decide to come back or not. It's not up to us to say. You see what's good and bad, and obviously, I discussed with him about like one of the phases for what Andrew Tate has mentioned, like men have to go through trauma. More trauma it goes, it's build their skills up and X, Y, and Z. A woman cannot go through trauma, but women always brought up easy mode by the family because family always protect the woman. So when it comes to problem solving or issue arrays, they go meltdowns comparison to men. So that's what I explained to him. And I explained to him what I go through with my partner is do not compare to yours because mine's different. And lastly, towards the end of the conversation, I do mention that our ancestors of generation has gone through famine, war, to build this bloodline. And in today's world, the bloodline is being destroyed in the Western world. And nobody wants to go high above anymore because of this whole thing. And I did discuss with that, like, when a husband lost a job, you lose your marriage. Wife finds it hopeless, unappealing because there's two breadwinners. Now it's one breadwinner. And maybe debts, on the side, whatever. But, women tend to find something else, right? Or plan B or whatever. Plan B can be a partner or could be divorce and cut it up and whatever. When a woman lost a job, husbands roll up their sleeve to protect the kingdom, work even harder, try to make, as much as they can, where we as husbands would never shame upon the woman. But I guess in today's world, with the social media, I believe the social media that most women look at is like a form of witchcraft, a spell on them to think that there's a lot better than what they have current. The grass is greener from the other side than here. That's just my perspective. All right, let's go through to the comments on these videos. And yeah. All right, if you can't talk about hard things, you have no business getting married. So that's what the James Sexton has mentioned about. And that is absolutely true. I could definitely say that. Unfortunately, with social media nowadays, it paints a point with a disillusioned world, and they're buying to it and don't want to get into the reality, the real stuff. And I could say that in my relationship, it's definitely true. That's my red flag on my relationship. I won't get too details, but yeah, because this is a different method. I don't think I can learn anything about myself from myself. I need someone who can see my blind spot. That is something that I could see. My partner did point out my blind spot, and I point out their blind spot, and obviously didn't work well. But that is a very good one. You work as a team. Our marriages work as a team. I like that second comment, but yeah. How are you going to get married to someone who has having children with someone and you can't talk about hard things about prenup? Are you going to navigate life together and not talk about the hard things? If you can't get them, if you can't get them, don't get married. So true. This really nails on the head. And I think prenup is very important to save the assets, because if it's 43% in Australia, God knows what's like in other Western countries, can be 50 or 60%, whatever, then it should be a form of prenup, have to save the whole thing. All right, let me skip. Earning some amount of money with a month. She met a guy. She met in the gym. We avoid divorce because we wanted to spare our children. She stabbed me in the back. I wanted to spare our children. Nasty as well. Being told aside and a painful experience in my life. To this say, if someone reminds me of the time, I feel over again. I've moved past my ex, but the pain is still there. It is very difficult. Once upon a time, your trusted, most lovable, you thought that you're gonna live to death, and stab you on the back, and she has met a guy in the gym. Is exactly what has happened to that Same mate that mentioned to you guys, because her partner was constantly going to gyms and coming back home late. They have 4 kids, but during the coronavirus, she decided to call quits because she met someone in the gym. And I guess with the gym, obviously you lose. It's great to go to gym. You get fitness, you lose weight, but it's like a zoo. Like you see girls wearing tights, you see guys working hard, tats. Everyone's good, but it's like a very dangerous zone because you get to see what's in your eyes. And good luck to and you find someone. It's easy to attract to someone that's working out, doing something, instead of us guys or girls who stay at home working in 90 plus hours or 80 plus or 78 plus hours and don't have the energy to go to gym to work on their body. And having like that, no time, because you have constant bills and everything like that. And I understand what's it like. But at that moment you met someone in the gym, obviously they get raised up and go on a date, fancy, feel young and feel like they feel love and feel in love again and whatever, how it is. It's not only just go for women but also go for men as well. What do you say? Listen, they hit the gym more often. I guess it's even if you hit more of the gym, you start to compare. I see a lot of my married friends who go to gym and they just can't work out because their eyes are working out when they look at the girls. I don't think it's the way to go. I think gym should be stay at home because you don't want to have that sort of the illusion mindset of someone that's doing better. You might not know, but it's like one of the videos I've watched in the past is like saying, wife got a new career, yoga instructor or personal trainer, and obviously you're dealing with people in and out, and obviously people compliment them, cherish them, everything, blah 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 blah. Come home with a lazy, potato couch or whatever, working so hard, and that changes the environment to seek new opportunity or plan B or plan C, boyfriend or husband, whatever. Best points: be the biggest fan of your partner's, cheering and motivate instead of criticizing. In my relationship, they criticize me everything what I do. Alright. I think a lot of men who married will understand what I'm saying. Small gesture giving a long way. Okay, so that is something I should have do more. Try to talk about hard things when you're not fighting. My ones always end up with fighting when you talk about hard things. I'm pretty sure a lot of men will always agree to that. Husbands out there. Marriage is like a lottery. You probably won't win it. Try it with a prenup arrangement. So instead of spending money on lottery, you may as well just do a prenup arrangement because that will save you more money and emotional, your suicide and everything than the lottery ticket. It's like a lottery, but I think it's better to, force upon with the prenup. And if they don't want to sign it, she's not the right one because nowadays, people get disinterest quickly, or some people fake it to make it because of cultural reasons, you're being single or X, Y, and Z. It can be all sorts of issues. And I'm not here to say anything. And I remember before I met my partner, we were classmates. And I remember we went to camping together, and her mother is like saying to her, when you're going to find a husband or whatever, like that pushing notion. And I guess in my situation, it was forced upon her, fake it till she make it together with me. And I remember when I had my baby, I wasn't making much money because I left my full-time job, and she urged me to have, she wants to be a single mother, and I refused to because she wanted to get more benefits, and I refused to. And it's tough, that's just like my story, but yeah, let's go. I cried filing my divorce document the entire time. I feel like I was in a funeral, but yes, talking about how a relation grew, it hurts because it's not bad at first, but over time I was dying. I just can't imagine if right now child support, or whatever lawyers come knock on my door, I probably, it's like a death sentence, that letter. I'll probably feel the same way as well. This is the part that really got me tears, but now I'm not. But Max told me at the beginning she would never take the daughter from me. It's a long story, but He was in her life, and the father was separated them. She changed her mind. I really like this little girl. We went to road trips, blasting music, had a blast. Prenups are absolutely necessary. We went married because in the beginning I brought it up because of the situation in the end. If I had little lies, her daughter wouldn't have stuff. She misses me, and I misses her as well. This hit me very hard. I don't care you're single mom or single dad. This hits rock bottom hard because you're playing emotional amongst the child. And for myself, who grew up divorced family, and it's very tough. Like in a year, I probably get to see my mum probably two weeks. It's very hard. It destroyed me, and I really, when I get into this relationship, I always say to myself, I'll do anything not to go through that. But now I understand why people go through divorce at a very young age. Why would you fight to learn how to fight in a fire? I know that was one of his quote. If you're fighting all the time, and how can you learn to fight? It's already game over. And yeah, it's fighting each other, but his soldiers are full. It's very tough. What is it? This is such a okay. Getting married is ridiculously easy. Getting divorced tear every piece of your life apart. I hope we can have more conversation about this society and take a closer look at the technology of marriage. That is absolutely true. And one of the videos, on the video, he also mentioned that if you love the person, you don't really have to get married. Like, you go married, you have engagement party with your friends or go through a wedding, and next couple of years, you announce divorce. It's like a big slap on your face. You don't have to go married. If they want a kid, you give them a kid. You can, in Australia, we can go for de facto. In other countries, I don't know, but like, you can have a kid without marriage if you stay long term or whatever. Because once you get married, you get the government involved, state involved now. My husband was very wealthy. I was not. Before we get married. I insisted on getting prenup and knowing I was marrying him before the love and admiring him for not for his rich. It actually made him feel uncomfortable, disgust to go to a lawyer to draw the prenup. It made me feel good because I knew he wouldn't be a second guessing my reason for marrying him. That's good. I reckon that's modern form of marriage, which was great on her. At least she accepted it. It's very hard. Another video that I watched in the past is that a marriage should come as a contract. There should be a certain years that you put it, and they can revise it X amount of year, and they can walk away. And because of when you're married to everything too much. You're not only just the person, the house. You're marrying everything, and you stay together too long. You get disinterest, and it's just too much for them to handle. That's what they say about marriage. It's too much because you get to see the person every day, and obviously it's one expective point of view, whether it's emotionally abused, whether it's sword abuse or no freedom. There's no delusion. It has to be reality, but I understand where it's coming from. Okay, my mom turned to drugs. Then a quarter century later, a family friend gave me a video. She told me a video they married. Young, pretty, happy on vacation, being loved, flirting, chasing each other, not a worry in the world. It was so surreal. I think they keep a successful marriage in a constant checkpoints adjustment communication. Kind of like how you drive a car. You constantly make a little adjustment to stay on the road. I think there's something that I need to look back and start my vlogging with my daughter and the family, even though we're separated, just to remind her that how much loving we go through. Unfortunately, my one is just too much family issue. I think it's great. Yeah, it kind of reminds me I have to do videos for my daughter. But instead of all your money on lottery, get a prenup. It's good. If you set up, I think the lottery ticket is getting a prenup nowadays. So I was looking at it, and I was like, if I ever get back to my partner, I think we should sign a prenup. Even though I have no assets, but she has assets. Protect her, and she knows that I wouldn't walk away. I think that's the best lottery ticket. Even though at the moment I'm earning good money, but you never know, down the track it'll be a different story. When first date, engaged, and all new, and you overlooked many red flags, and that won't work for you. You love them, and you know they're just stressed. They change. They'll be mad if I ask them that question. Or the excuse you tell yourself. You don't have to go hard discussion. First, if you cannot have a adult discussion with the person, do not get married. That was my hard discussion. Was in a relationship, was talking about interest rate. Do not get in a property. That backflipped me, and I told her she's uneducated, and that I got kicked out. From that moment, I shouldn't go back to her, but because of coronavirus lockdown, I wasn't earning money. I went back to her, and I know that was a red flag, biggest red flag. Before I got back to her, a week or two, she bought a property. And she bought a property. She won't make a big loss if she has a recession nowadays, but yeah, she will lose. Yeah. But you know, a man always look very, very ahead. But women, they look at what's now. I want it now. And this becomes a problem, with money and debt involved. So you ask you are sure having kids, they want to have raised kids, expectation will be faithful, they will respect you when you get jealous of something that they're doing you hurt. If any of these questions still say, or I don't know. Okay. This is very interesting. As a wedding planner, there's a lot of people I've seen needs to work on themselves with each other before getting married. I like to do orgasms with a marriage counselor. That is very interesting. You know, you've got the, different profession that you wouldn't think of much, that knew that this is going to be ending really bad, and it's really great. I wish that we have more perspective instead of narrowing down perspective of, regardless if it's a red pill or psychologist, whatever. There should be a lot of perspective, and I think a wedding planner and a divorce lawyer is probably banged on to the highest on the list right now. Yeah, society's not ready for realistic. Yeah, it's just true. Is there some people appreciate the illusion that comes with unrealistic society, standard. 100%. I don't know what to say, but yeah. You still argue, but you won't be stopped. I was married in 18 years. This is a young one. Raised 3 kids, split up about 6 months and 7 months separated, but eventually talk it out. We both look internally, realized what we need to each other, that was sabotaging ourselves. We changed behavior and agreed 100% honest. Watch, how I've tried to do that with my first breakup, separation with her, that she needs to change, but other than, she didn't change. And during that time, my salary went skyrocketed. But I'm just letting you guys know. Great to be married sometimes. Problem is you're married to the person all the time. The guy's a brilliant subject, relationship, longevity, realistic expectation with the bonus of being handsome. It is true. I think marriage nowadays is about survival. Unfortunately in life, we tend to live, more than 80 years old. So back in the days, marriage, lifespan is probably up to 50 years old or whatever, and becomes a problematic. Without marrying. Yep. I have to end the video. My client just called me.